And so the question really becomes, how do I start to trust myself? How do I start to develop these things in myself? And it's a tricky question because Thursday. Good morning. If you're listening to the podcast version of this when it drops in the morning, a good evening. If you're watching this on YouTube when it drops on the video platforms, maybe Rumble, I don't know. However you're watching this or listening to this, good morning, happy, good evening, good, happy day. I hope that you're doing well. Happy Thursday. It's December 7th today. We are rocking it. It is getting through... We're through the first 7 days, the first week of December here. It is a chilly day for us here. I'm recording this today on Friday, so it's kind of like a week in advance, and it's getting pretty cold here in Vancouver. I hope that you guys are staying warm and staying busy and staying positive and working hard today. I'm feeling pretty good, and so I hope that you guys are feeling pretty good as well. I'm just chilling out here in the office. I'm gonna go and do some training in a little bit, head to the gym, and I thought I'd sit down and record this before I head out, and just hang out and share a little bit with you guys, and have a little chat. And so hope you guys are doing well. I hope that your week is going well. Please, if you guys are interested in connecting and linking up, reach out to me on Risen Fallen on the Instagram. It's at Risen Fallen. And I hope you guys are doing well. It's been a pretty hectic year. I know that everyone else is kind of feeling the exact same way, probably excited for the holiday season or excited for the holiday season to be over, just to kind of finish up with all this stress and stuff that's going on and get back to being focused on the grind. I know a lot of us as well are just staying on the grind the entire time, and so it's kind of a hectic time. It's one of those times of the year where you're either kicking back and you're not doing much and you're just spending time with family, which is cool, and then the other option is you're pretty much just working every single day, wishing you could kick back and spend time with your family, which is also cool. It's also, there's always going to be different seasons in our lives where it's time to work and it's time to get shit done and it's time to, not emotionally detach, but not listen as much and be bound to the options that your emotions give you and to react accordingly due to, some of the things you might have going on in life. And so wherever you're at in life, wherever you're at right now, it's all right. Just take a second, take a breath, reflect on where you're at, reflect on why you're there, and let's start moving forward together. If you're brand new to this show, obviously what you can expect is open and authentic conversations about things like mental health and self-development, how to get your life moving in the right direction. If you are not new to this show, then thank you very much for coming back and supporting the cause, supporting the journey, and supporting the idea of making yourself 1% better every single day, and along the way lifting other people up as well. I feel like I botched that intro, but I'm sure you guys can forgive me. I'm going to take a little sip of coffee here, and then we're going to get back to it. If I had an advertisement or a sponsorship, this is where it would go. So I don't. So thank you guys, and I'm going to take a sip. All right, so today I thought it'd be kind of cool to talk about trust issues. And trust issues are something that we all deal with at different points of our lives. I'm sure that you've probably dealt with trust issues. I'm sure that maybe your loved ones probably have as well at some point. If you're not right now, then at some point of your life. And, we all deal with trust issues and struggle with that, whether it's someone doesn't trust us fully, or we don't trust someone else that is in our lives fully. Or maybe, I think maybe the most, potent form of trust issues is the trust issues you might have with yourself, and the lack thereof. I think that a lot of us, because we find it so difficult to trust ourselves and love ourselves and accept ourselves, we then start to project those things onto other people as well. We see this with people with goals all the time, like people that are very ambitious and set big goals for themselves might, end up sharing those things, those wants, those needs, those desires, those visions and goals with other people. And then you might hear something back where in the conversation where the person that you're talking to says something along the lines of, I think you need to pick a realistic goal. You need to have some sort of a safety net set up for yourself. Like, hey, that's great to dream, but this is real life. Like, where's your head at? And I think it's easy to understand that people that have given up on their goals or don't want to set high goals for themselves because of the fear or anxiety that they might not complete them or achieve them, or they might be judged by other people surrounding them. When those people give up and they sell themselves out and pick the path of least resistance and the path of least risk, they often tend to advise other people to do the exact same thing. And this is probably because what we're looking for is the social confirmation, understanding that, yeah, I made a good decision because someone else is going to listen to it, give me the affirmation that it's a good decision, and they're probably going to do the same. The contrary is true as well. And so if somebody has compromised on those goals for themselves and they hear about somebody who's not going to compromise, they start to think like, oh, does this person think they're more special? Do they think that they're better than me? Oh, this person is just ignorant to how the world really works. They'll find out soon enough that they should just give up on their dream. This whole thing starts to play, in your head or in their head, and it comes to fruition where there's this kind of idea that way. And the same goes with trust issues as well. When you struggle to trust yourself and to trust in your own word, to trust in your commitments that you've made to yourself because you have evidence that you're not following through, and so you obviously can't trust yourself, then you're going to find it impossible to trust other people as well. You're going to be consistently doubting yourself, your internal voice, the internal conversations that you have in your head. You're going to be conflicting. You're going to have one opinion 1 minute, and then the next minute you're going to be questioning that opinion, and you're not going to be confident in your own thoughts and your own beliefs and your own ideas. And then when you talk to other people as well, it's going to be the exact same thing, because you're going to have this internal dialogue of like, do they really trust themselves? Do they really believe what they're telling me? Are they telling me the truth? Is what I know even the truth? You kind of have this crazy internal dialogue of not being able to trust yourself, and therefore projecting that onto other people and not being able to trust other people either. And so the question really becomes, how do I start to trust myself? How do I start to develop these things in myself? And it's a tricky question because there's this internal intuition that we all have, that gut feeling. You've heard those phrases before. And I don't know about you, but I've always kind of had mixed signals from my intuition and my gut feeling. Some people say that you should always trust it. Some people say that you shouldn't trust it at all, and you should be logical and think methodically and think in terms of objective matters rather than subjective matters. And then there's other people that think that there's some sort of a spiritual connection, perhaps, or I don't know, some sort of like a message from God, like this, like gut intuition is some sort of way that we can navigate the world, and it's more in tune with Mother Nature than we are. I don't know what the theory or concept is. And to be frank, I don't really think it matters all that much, because I've been led well by my intuition in the past, and then I've also been led astray. And so I don't think that you can cause or call for an absolute of thinking like, okay, I always have to listen to my intuition or I never have to listen to my intuition. I think that, a lot of the time what we do is we correct our behaviors and our thoughts throughout life, like a course correction, kind of like knee-jerk reactions in terms of like, hey, I have a bad feeling about this, and I listened to it in the past, and it served me well, so I'm going to listen to it this time, and then maybe it betrays you that time, and so you think, okay, I'm never going to listen to it, and then that betrays you, and you kind of get yourself put into a worse position. Maybe you get the raw end of the stick, whatever it could be, and then you kind of start to see this course correction from each extreme of like, okay, I'm always going to listen to it. I'm never going to listen to it. I'm going to listen to it in certain circumstances. If I feel in over my head, I'm going to reach out for help from other people. Like, you'll kind of start to course correct throughout your life of, when it's the right time to listen to your intuition and when you're in over your head, and it's maybe wise to seek out expertise in a given field. And I think that kind of is the best way to look at it, is kind of this course correction in terms of listening to your own intuition. But in terms of actually building trust in yourself, I think that there is one tried and true method of being able to develop this confidence in your own thoughts, your own beliefs, and your own words, in terms of when, if something's going to be achieved when you say it's going to be achieved, or how it's going to be achieved, or what's going to happen, an outcome. The best way to develop that kind of trust in yourself is to follow through on your promises, to follow through on your convictions, on your, what you've committed yourself to, your commitments. And I think that, in so many different ways in this world, it's so very obvious. You hear all the cliches of like, how you do one thing is how you'll do everything, as above, so below. The mastery of one thing leads to the mastery of all things. Once you understand the way broadly, you understand it in all things, like all of these different sayings and cliches. But I really do think that when it comes down to instilling trust in yourself, it really does come down to following through on the commitments that you make to yourself. So when you tell yourself certain things like, I'm gonna wake up tomorrow morning and I'm gonna take care of, those emails I've been neglecting, or that phone call I've been neglecting to make, or, I really do need to get along and have that conversation with my boyfriend or my girlfriend about this issue that I've been having recently, or I really should open up to my mother about this issue, or I really should, you have all these internal thoughts. And instead of dealing with the stressors and the anxieties and the commitments that you've made to yourself and or others, we tend to put those stressful behaviors or, tasks or deeds, we tend to put those things off in hopes of gaining some sort of stress relief, escapism, and instant gratification, and push those things off until we're sitting in a ball of anxiety of like all these things rotating around us, like those little what are they called? Those like gyroscopes, or those things that they hang over babies' cribs, where like the planets float around the solar system type thing. It's like something scope, or I don't know what that toy's called. It's killing me. I'm gonna look it up after this, but or maybe I'll just look it up right now. Let's see. Spinning toy that goes over baby crib. A mobile. Is that it? Mobile? Why did I even think of this? Oh, because it's like, we neglect all these like tasks that we have to do. And then they start to just rotate around us like that, like a baby's mobile. And we're like the little baby, and all these things are just spinning around us, except we have to deal with those things that are spinning. Like a baby doesn't have to deal with that thing. It just looks at it. But we got to deal with it. And so until we actually commit to dealing with it and can trust in ourselves that business will be taken care of, and the shit in life that has to get taken care of will get taken care of, then we're going to have issues being able to trust in ourselves and being able to really, what I think it comes down to is trust that the future is not going to be horrible. to the best of our abilities. Because I think that a lot of the time our anxiety and our self-doubt and our, trust that we have in ourselves or lack thereof comes down to a lack of belief that the future is going to be all right. I think that a lot of us have this fear that we're going to let ourselves down or we're going to let the people that we love down. We have this like anxiety looming over us that like, fuck, I think I might make a mistake and the future might be shitty because of my mistake that I make. And the best way to protect yourself from that is to follow through on your commitments and to be able to control every single thing that you can control in terms of making your life better, or at least putting yourself in the position to make your life better. And I think that until we can follow through with our commitments, and I'm talking every single little commitment, like literally instill discipline in ourselves so that we know that whenever tough times are going to be coming, we are going to be prepared. And what that comes down to is instilling discipline in ourselves. Now, I'm not telling you that you have to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and doing 500 push-ups or 500 burpees or whatever fucking thing. I'm not saying that you have to do all that. What I am saying is you have to follow through on your commitments. If you commit to waking up at 7 o'clock in the morning and waking up and going for a walk or going for a bike ride or going for a jog or doing a workout or reading a book, then you do that. You wake up at 7 o'clock and you do the thing that you've told yourself, like, yeah, I should really fucking do this. So this would really make a big impact in my life. And then you do that thing. You don't hit snooze 6 times. You don't fucking, oh, I know I was supposed to go for a run, but today I'm going to just go for a jog or a walk because I'm low energy today. And this has been a really low energy day or week for me. So I really just need a rest day and I'll start that tomorrow. Like, those are the conversations that have led us to the problem, the point where we're at, where we don't trust ourselves and we don't have confidence in ourselves and we don't value ourselves. And so the solution is to make a commitment to yourself to do at least, one thing, one change in your life that will improve you. And then not only make the decision to do that, but to follow through on that commitment. If you say, I'm going to get up at 7 o'clock tomorrow, you get up at 7 o'clock. You don't get up at 7:30. You don't get up at 8. You don't get up at 9. You get up when you told yourself that you would get up, and you do the things that you told yourself that you would do. That means if you're like me, you find yourself needing to call the government, needing to talk to the Service Canada, or needing to talk to the fucking, you just call them up and you just deal with whatever you're like, hey, these are other people. They're just regular ass people that are trying to do their jobs. And so let's just deal with this stuff. It might be stressful. It might be annoying. It might be fucking meaning that I'm put on hold for 45 minutes. But hey, I could get a good stretch in while I'm on hold. Like, all I'm trying to say is to make a commitment to yourself and to actually follow through with it. And instill that trust in yourself. Because I know that for myself personally, when I started to follow through on the commitments I was making to myself, the trust that I had in myself and the confidence that I had in myself changed my social circles. It allowed me to start to, not only follow through on my own commitments, but to start to trust other people to follow through on their commitments because I knew that they were capable of doing it. Because I knew that I was capable of doing it as well. And I think that a lot of the time, the things that we are fearful of other people doing in terms of hurtful things or triggering things, when we're fearful of people having negative qualities, whether it's annoyance, impatience, or even something that's even more despicable like hatred or racism or anything like that, I think that a lot of the time the people that are most fearful of having that experience with other people in life are probably are probably the people that are the most afraid of having their skeletons in their closet exposed. And that's why they're so quick to jump to the gun and point it at somebody else and draw the attention away from them so that nobody stumbles across the skeletons in their closet. And I think the exact same thing works with trust as well. It's always easy to see somebody that has a very low amount of self-esteem or trust or confidence in themselves When you see somebody that has those qualities where they're very low in those qualities, those are the people that are the quickest to make fun of other people, belittle other people, tear them down, try and make them feel worse about themselves. There's always there's that saying, you'll never see a hater doing better than you. And I think that a lot of the time when someone is doing well, they're committed to their craft, they're committed to improving themselves, they're following through on their commitments, and they've built a level of self-trust and confidence. They understand how terrible and how hard that road can be sometimes. And there's this level of respect found for one another when you can see somebody that's pushing through something tough and they're choosing not to play the victim card and think, oh, woe is me, this person was disrespectful to me, or this person ruined my life, or this person ruined my day. When you choose to grin and bear it and take your challenges that life serves you head on, other people notice that. And you might not think that they do, but I really do believe, people take notice, and they there's this mutual kind of respect or trust given and earned when you're the type of person that follows through on their commitments and is just committed to not thinking about how the world is screwing them over, but think about how they've been screwing themselves over and they've had enough and they're sick of it. And they're going to do everything within their power to improve their situation, no matter where they're at. Whether it's, poor health, poor financial wellness, poor relationship, whatever it could be. When real recognize real. That's the best way I can say it. Like, when you come across somebody that is going through that struggle in their life, and they're choosing not to view it as a victim, mentality, and they're choosing to take their challenges head on, other people do notice that, and they do respect that, and they're going to be more eager to help you get through what you're going through if you're seeing like, oh, this guy actually wants to make an improvement. He's not just bitching and complaining, because sometimes I feel like we see people that are consistently complaining about their problems and in this victimhood mentality of, everyone's screwing me over, the world's screwing me over, the government screwed me over, this guy screwed me over, my coworker 6 years ago screwed me over. Like, I kind of feel like there's this unspoken, and maybe people don't know how to put words to it, but it's almost like this, like, I feel like this person wants to be hurting or struggling. Like, it's like their claim to fame, like, of like the thinking that there's the virtue in having the struggle. But the real virtue is not having the struggle. We don't fall in love with movie characters that are heroic and overcome issues because they have the struggle. We look up to them and we admire them because of how they face their struggle and how they think that no matter what the circumstances are, they might be able to impact their environment to a point where they're making an improvement. And so maybe they get this very small sliver of hope and faith that they can make a positive impact in the world around them. And that's the reason we fall in love with these movie characters and admire them so much. It's not because they have these struggles. It's not because they have these problems, but it's because of their attitudes towards their problems. And then obviously their romanticizing of how it gets solved. And I think that our lives are no different other than the amount of CGI and the budget that we have. So I think that that pretty much wraps up what I was trying to discuss today. I think I got that out of my head and out of my mouth and into this podcast. And so I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you guys, if you have any input on that, you want to share what your thoughts are, then comment below if you're watching this on YouTube or on Rumble or anything like that. Leave a little review if you're listening to the podcast version of this on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. You can shoot me a DM on Instagram. Like I said, it's @RisenFallen on that. And that's pretty much it. I'll catch you guys on Monday. Much love. Peace out. Love you all, you beautiful human beings. Stay well. Be good to yourself. And follow through on your well, I butchered that, but follow through on your commitments. Love you all. See you on Monday. Bye.